When Mr. X meets Miss Y, the long-lost X is the Y princess. My X variable is a gangster. That X variable ulit is my wife. X academy, X university, X high, variable plus high. That X variable is a super cool geek nerd. Okay. Are your story plots old, predictable, derivative, boring, and cliche? Glad you're here. Hello everyone, this is Thricia, an author, and while I'm browsing through Facebook, I stumbled into an interesting post and it discussed 25 signs that your story plot is old, predictable, derivative, boring, and cliche. And again, syempre, katulad ng mga videos ko before, bago ko simulan yung pagsasalita, tungkol doon, for the youngsters, the one who are in their starting line in writing, himayin muna natin yung mga nabanggit na salita. Masyado kasing mabigat. And for me, it is somehow alarming. Siguro kung ako yung nagsisimula magsulat, syempre parang doon pa lang, parang nakakapanghina ng loob. Para kasing may halo ng judgment, o baka naman, di ba, ako lang yung nakaka-feel or yung nakapag-isip ng ganon, being a sensitive crybaby. Pero ikaw, kapag ba ganon yung nabasa mo, you're gonna continue reading it or not? Disclaimer lang, lahat ng sasabihin ko rito ay pawang experiences ko at pananaw ko lang about sa topic na pinag-uusapan natin. Wala akong ibang kaso o problema pagdating sa may-ari ng post at kung sa ano man yung kakaibang opinion niya pagdating sa mga bagay. Kaya if you are an author who I truly adore because you are open for improvements, a writer, or someone who wanted to write but afraid to touch their own pen, or if you are just curious about all these story plots, feel free to continue watching. At habang ginagawa mo yun, you can also click the like and share button para marami-rami at malayo-layo rin yung marating ng video ito. Siyempre, that would be much appreciated. And most importantly, make that red subscribe button gray and give me support. Thank you so much. Now, ito na. How can you say that your plot is old? First, sinabi niya dun sa post na signs that your story plots are old. Ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng old, luma, pang matanda? Whatever it is, I believe that there is no story plot that is old. Siguro, we are just used on seeing that kind of plot. But still, di ba, kahit kung feeling mo paulit-ulit at pag nalaspag na yung plot na yon, I am telling you, wala kang magiging kapareha. Sinabi ko na rin to sa mga interview, sa mga nakausap kong author, that one author is unique from each other. Like his or her writing styles, yung characters, yung kung paano yung takbo ng utak niya sa pagsusulat ng dialogues and narrations. Maraming pagkakaiba at hindi magiging magkakaparehas. That is why if you think na yung plot mo, your plot is old, think again. And if you ever think about that twice, thrice, or kung ilang beses man, you know you need to improvise. You need to improve. You go for everything that makes your story stand out. At para sa akin, walang lumang plot, walang laspag na plot. All you need to do is to put that into another level. Your plot being predictable. Ang pulis ay darating kapag may nabaril na o kapag may namatay na sa story o sa pelikula, hindi ba? Yung mga bidang nagkakasagian o may nakabangga lang, nabuhusan ng kung ano, tas may love life na, madali mahulaan. Alam mo yon, as a reader na maraming librong nabasa, alam na natin agad yung kasunod. Ito yung madalas na ito yung uri ng story na madalas tinitigilan lang natin kasi alam na natin yung mangyayari. Wala nang excitement, kumbaga, wala nang pagkatapos mo basahin, may iwan sa atin na, uy, paano, ganito, ganyan. Hindi na rin tayo magiging curious as in end of the story, pero ano bang dapat mong gawin? Next is your plot being derivative. From Merriam-Webster, it is said that derivative in linguistics is a word formed from another word or based. Yun nga, a word formed by derivation na tinatawag nila. But in writing and copyrights, it means that is based on or derived from one or more already existing works. Galing pa mismo sa Circular 14 ng Copyright and Derivative Works and Compilations that the common derivative works include yung translation, musical arrangement, motion pictures version of literary materials or play, art reproduction, abridgment, condensation of pre-existing works. Andiyan na. No, bilang author, parang you derive your book in that existing story. It can happen. Pero it can happen, I believe, na sinasadya o hindi. Kasi 'di ba, with thousands of books, millions of stories in the world, parang mahirap maging aware kung nagkataon lang ba o hindi. But the most important aspect of that is that you are aware of the situation. Alam mo pwedeng maging derivative ang isang kwento. Alam mo na nag-e-exist ang mga derivative works. Next is boring. This is definitely offensive. 'Di ba? Ako, kahit pa sabihin natin that it can be a constructive criticism, it can hurt other writers. Pag sinabihan ka na, uy, ang boring ng kwento mo. Na-bored ako sa story, na-bored ako sa libro, boring yung flow and whatsoever. Pero paano ba natin masasabi na ang isang libro ay boring? 'Di ba? Can we immediately see that kahit hindi pa natin binabasa yung libro? Okay, so I'll give you a tip. In order not to make your story or your novel a boring one, you should raise the stakes. Stakes, ito yung kailangan sa bawat story na sinusulat mo. Stakes keep the plot moving, keep the characters growing and changing yung development nila, and keep your readers engaged. C, once you align the stakes in your situation, saan mo ba ito todo, saan ba yung parang kalmado lang, I'll give an example. Itong si female lead ay papasok sa school. Alright. It is a high school love story, high school life, at sobrang common na sa atin, at sobrang common na ng situation na yung lead pumapasok sa school. Or like, she's preparing to go to school, she'll do this and that. But what? Hindi nyo pwedeng sabihin na, ay, alisin natin yun kasi it might be a cliché or a boring one. Hindi natin pwedeng gawin yun. Why? Because it is a part of a plot. It has to be there. Now, kung papasok sa school at isinulat mo ang lahat ng ginagawa ng estudyante bago pumasok sa school, why? Diba? Why would you tell me na after waking up, she went to the bathroom, brushed her teeth, nagsalamin siya, naligo pagkatapos ng breakfast, palit ng uniform, and so on and so forth. Why? We already know that. Like, if you are going to enumerate all the steps na unnecessary sa kwento, come on. Pero 'di ba, pag ginawa mo naman na habang naghahanda siya para pumasok, like the lead could get a little throwback of this significant happenings last week. Kung may na-receive siyang mga misteryosong text o kung may nang istorbo sa paghahanda niya na ganon, paghahanda niya pumasok. Anything, you need to be creative. Hindi namin kami mga readers kailangan ng step kung paano mag-toothbrush, kung paano maghanda sa school, kung paano yung pasunod-sunod na dapat gawin. You need to be precise. And syempre, you need to keep that interesting. Para pala sa mga gusto ng mas detalyadong explanation at interested pang matuto ng mga tips on how to improve their manuscript, I'll surely upload tons of strategies and tips about writing in this channel. Ngayon, puro pahapyaw lang ang sinasabi ko dahil ayoko matabunan ng essence ng video. And this is about the post. And lastly, mga madam, your story plot being that cliché. Okay, alam niyo na yung word na yan, and madalas na talaga yung nagagamit. Like if someone's gonna tell you, uy, I don't like your book, I mean, I love young adult fictions, nakaka-addicts, pero yung sa'yo kasi cliché. Here, a cliché is something which is overused. Alam na natin yung lahat. That it's so overused that sometimes it may give off the idea of lack of originality. But here's the reality. Na-addict yung isang reader sa young adult genre and she loved to read books like that, then why not every book, especially on those young adult fiction or romance genre, are all the same? Pero yun naman talagang hanap nila. Hindi ako nagpapatama, and obviously, wala akong side. I can actually relate to both since I am a reader and a writer at the same time. I'm saying this because, seriously, some authors may not even aware that what they are writing is a cliché. And I hope ikaw na nanonood can relate to that. Madalas, hindi ko naman nila lahat, we usually think that we usually think that what we are writing is a good one, not really aware that it might be too cliche. Marami akong nabasang story na somehow inspired to other stories, movies as well. Yung pakiramdam na pagkatapos nilang manood o pagkatapos nilang makita, mabasa, hindi na maalis sa isip natin, and they'll decide to take it like, okay, we write our own version of this. Hindi natin nagustuhan yung title, yung ending, we become inspired to make something, to make a story na hindi tayo mabibitin sa ending. Maraming ganong situation. And this cliche story plots, kailangan siyang iwasan, pero mahirap siyang iwasan. Gets? And sobrang nakaka-relate din kasi ang daming libro, and all you need to do is to think of a strategy, to think of a way kung paano wala siyang kaparehas, kung paano siya mag-stand out. And ayun yung pinaka-challenge sa aming writers. Hindi siya nag-iisang challenge, pero nandun siya sa mga pinakamahirap na challenges na kinakaharap ng isang writer. Sabi nga, di ba, all things are easier said than done. Ganon din siya sa story. Kaya if ever that you really like this concept and are afraid to write it because you think it's cliche, you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to. No, you need to choose what you like, what you need to write what you enjoy. You can choose cliches with a purpose. Now that we already know what these words bring, shall we go on to number 1? The person that wrote the post implied that your story plots are old, predictable, derivative, boring, or cliche if, number 1, title begins with or contains the following: accidentally in love with the boss, my bodyguard, my stepbrother, my classmates, anything, accidentally in love with X, kung sino mang variable. Next is when Mr. X meets Miss Y. The long-lost X is the Y princess. My X variable is a gangster. That X variable ulit is my wife. The X academy, X university, X high, variable plus high. That X variable is a super cool geek nerd. Okay. X and Y and Z. LIYABC variable. Please variable lang siya. Next is diary ng XYZ, the G's daughter, the Q's son, the JKL sisters. Ayan. And the DEF brothers. Yun, no? Nagbigay siya ng mga templates, titles na madalas talaga nating nakikita, and we can all relate to that. Pero instead of criticizing these titles, it would be best if I am going to tell you how can you make your story less of these factors. Para maiwasan, kasi para siyang cliche na sinasabi ko kanina, kailangan siya iwasan, pero hindi siya madaling iwasan. Yung mga bagong writers, nag-a-assert talaga sila sa mga ganyang titles. Hindi ko nila lahat again. Kasi they're comfortable with it. 'Di ba? Ganun naman tayo palagi pag nagsisimula. Lagi nating pinipili kung saan tayo komportable. Sa susunod na lang tayo magte-take ng risk, sa susunod na lang tayo lalabas sa ating comfort zone. Pero ini-encourage kita na ikaw bilang nagsisimula magsulat, you need to go out of your comfort zone. Naalala ko, sabi ng isang author din sa amin, actually this is a random one, hindi ko alam kung aware siya na napakalaking bagay yung sinabi niya. But, sobrang tumatak ito sa akin. Sabi niya, ang writer daw or ang author ay hindi lang pwedeng maging basta author. Palagi tayong connected. We need to be an influencer as well. Hindi ko sinasabing maging influencer ka, magpasikat ka sa YouTube, sa Facebook, or whatsoever. Pero, you need to be influencer. Ikaw dapat yung mag-influence sa mga mas bata pa. As a writer, kunwari yung mga sinusulat mo, yung mga sinusulat mo dapat it can influence other people, maka-reach siya ng ibang tao. You know, kapag nagsusulat tayo, we need to come up with a purpose. Ano bang purpose niya? Natupad ba nung libro yung purpose na dinala mo sa book na yun nung una pa lang? Anyways, bago tayo mawala dun sa topic na naman because I'm very chatty, in creating a title, make sure to consider giving your story a title that is short. You need a short one. Like, we need to make the book title memorable because yun naman talaga ang purpose natin eh. Hindi tayo pwede magsulat na, sige, pwede na yan. Okay, for whatever reason. Sige, pwede na yan. Bago natin isulat yung libro, we have a purpose. Simply because we want it to be unforgettable. Gusto natin na pagkatapos nila basahin, hindi ka agad-agad makakalimutan, hindi isasantabi, hindi itatambak. In fact, kung mag-observe tayo, more memorable titles are usually on the shorter side kasi mas madali siyang maalala. And marami rin nagpapatunay, di ba, na minsan those stories na may short titles can be more powerful than longer potential titles. Example dyan in The Hobbit na may 100 million copies sold, correct me if I'm wrong, by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Alchemist na may 65 million pieces sold by Paulo Coelho. Lolita, which has 50 million copies sold by Vladimir Nabokov. Second, make it more evocative. Yung evocative is something that requires strong images, memories, or feelings to mind. Some of the books na best-selling kasi usually has compelling wordplay or imagery. Diba? Nabasa mo pa lang yung title, hook ka na. Gusto mo na to agad mabasa. Curious ka na agad, ano kayang laman ng librong to? And it is more important to come up with a great title that will show potential readers a bit of your writing skills. Doon pa lang malalaman na nila, siguro ganito siyang author, siguro magaling siyang author, siguro maganda tong book na to. And then doon pa lang, yun na, ma-impress mo na sila, makukonvince mo na sila to read your book. And lastly, katulad ng sabi ko kanina, mag-focus ka sa kung paano mo magagawang memorable, lalong-lalo na unique. The title, I must say, is the first thing na makikita ng isang tao. Ang unang bagay na ihaharap mo sa kanila, yung ibibida mo sa kanila. And for that book to be successful, malaking ambag yung magagawa ng title. Kung gusto mo mas maayos na suggestion, kunwari tips na pwede kong maibigay kung paano mas magiging madali yung pag-develop, paggawa, you can answer a question for your readers such as, who is the novel about? What is the novel about? When does your novel takes place? And when does your novel takes place? Where does your novel take place? Why should someone read your story? Pwede rin ganon. Na-convince mo na sila. Pero, make that in a shorter manner. Dun pa lang, kunin mo na yung loob nila. At syempre, hindi matatapos ang video ito na hindi ako nagiging comprehensive since yun naman lagi ang goal ko on making one. I want to give you a concrete example about these titles. Bale, I asked other authors to drop their stories because I plan to make a review after reading it. Marami namang nagbigay. Pero sabi ko, para lang yun sa mga authors na willing makarinig ng other opinions about their work such as constructive criticism. Gusto ko rin yung mga authors na, alam niyo yun, pag na-review, they are willing to improve. Hindi nila iti-take into a negative one yung sasabihin ko dahil ayoko rin naman ng conflict. Yung mga nagbasa sa akin or nagbigay ng story links nila, thank you so much ulit and I admire all of you. Yung mga titles doon had a lot of variation. Lahat sila nga halos. They actually, magkakaiba talaga sila. Kumbaga sa isang classroom ng mga estudyante, merong diversity. Ayan, so I decided to pick and give a little words, reviews about their own life, either about their own title as well. At dahil hindi ko pa nagagawa yung detailed review about their book as a whole, pahapyaw rin muna tayo tungkol sa titles na napili ko. Again, wala pa akong nabasa. Sa lahat ng nagbasa, wala akong nabasa. I only have their titles. At sa ngayon, I'll give them words, I'll give them reviews about sa title nila. Walang bias, wala rin akong kaalam-alam sa kung anong nasa loob. For the criteria or my guide, I'll be using the 5 attributes of 5, 10 to. Anyways, the 5 attributes of a good book title from Describe Media para na rin if maging interested ka on using this one for your future titles. Number 1 is kung attention grabbing. Attention grabbing ba yung title? Ito yung sinasabi ko, di ba, na first impression, na parang once na makita mo yung title, you have this thought na, okay, this will be good. And a book being good means you have to read them, you want to know kung ano ba yung meron, where you are curious. Second, the title being memorable, nasabi ko na rin at na-explain ko na kanina. Yung number 3 naman is if it is informative. Informative as it gives an idea of what the book is about, but not really slapping the readers about the whole book. Pahapyaw, pa-mysterious, mga ganong book title. Next is, it is easy to say. Sabi din doon. I am not really sure about this. Sigurado akong may pros and cons din dito, pero depende rin naman yun sa kung paano i-adapt ng readers, sa kung paano ko i-adapt. Kaya, disclaimer na rin na lahat ng sasabihin ko sa akin lang po nakabase. Again, this is just my guide as I want to be more concrete and precise, lalong-lalo na dahil mga masterpiece niyo ito. And lastly, based on Scribe Media, in their 5 attributes of a good book title is that the title is not embarrassing or problematic for someone to say it. Siguro wala namang maglalagay ng title na parang mother, tongue twister. Oh my gosh, nakalimutan ko. Tongue twister. Parang mga nakakapagpabagabag na mga ganong words. Anyways, that's it. Again, that is from scribemedia.com/how-to-title a book. Okay, the first title is from Divillarity na tinitle niya as I Woke Up Dead. I Woke Up Dead. So for number 1 category, attention grabbing, yes, sobrang attention grabbing niya. Actually, nung nagpasa pa lang sila ng links, like if they're interested, they can PM or they can direct message me yung link na gusto nilang ipa-review. And nung pinasa niya to sa akin, parang sabi ko parang ganito kasi yung mga interesado ako basahin. Again, personal preference. Gusto kong basahin kasi curious ako kung bakit ganun yung title. Kaya napakalaki talaga ng impact mo kapag meron kang catchy na title, na unique na title. Kasi most especially kapag may kapareho kang title, ako, yung mga stories ko madalas yung iba doon may kapareho ng title. Yung mga readers nami-misjudge nila na baka kapareha lang yun ang nabasa kong ganyan din yung title, baka ganito yung nangyari. And dahil doon, parang bawas ka na ng isang point doon sa impression nila. Bawas ka na ng isang point sa pagkuha mo doon sa attention nila. So, kailangan pag-isipan talaga yung title. And sinasabi ko to, hindi dahil magaling ako gumawa ng title, kundi dahil kailangan ko rin turuan yung sarili ko. I Woke Up Dead is attention grabbing. Hindi ko pa wala pa rito yung blurb niya. And syempre ihihiwalay natin 'yon. Next, for number 2, being memorable. Yes, it is memorable as well. Nung nabasa ko yung title pa lang, iniisip ko, ano kaya yung pwedeng mangyari? Paano siya nagising na ganun? Totoo bang ganun siya? Yung mga ganung moment. And kapag medyo pumasok na siya sa isip mo, maaalala mo na siya every time. Maalala mo na siya pag gusto mo magbasa. Diba? Kaya itong I Woke Up Dead, nakapagbigay siya ng impression sa akin na maganda. And I am looking forward to read it. Number 3, the story being informative. Yes, it gives me something about the book itself. Enough na yung nabasa ko na I woke up dead. Like he or she woke up dead. Ayun na. Okay na. Gusto ko na siya basahin. Because I am informed, alam ko na yung mababasa ko na hindi siya ganun, para sa akin feeling ko itong story na to hindi siya ganun ka-light. Baka paiyakin ako nito. Yung mga ganong thoughts, effective naman siya para dun sa title. Next is, madali ba siyang sabihin? Okay, madali siyang sabihin at hindi siya ganun ka, yan, so for someone to say it, I woke up dead. I woke up. Dead. Dead. Oh my gosh. Ayun, ang ganda. Ang ganda ng pagka-conceptualize. And sabi ko nga, Devilarity, I am looking forward na mabasa yung libro mo. Next is by Diamonds. I'm sorry. Hindi ko alam kung anong nangyayari sa akin. Basta, ikaw yan. Sige. She write the book, Loving the Attorney Next Door. Attention grabbing. It's fine. It's fine. Nakaka-grab din siya ng attention in a way na naiisip ko rin naman bakit siya nagkaroon ng title na gano'n. Although, alam ko na natungkol yun sa attorney, sa next door na minahal niya. Ay, sana nagigets ako. Para sa akin, the title already said kung ano yung mababasa ko sa libro. Yung curiosity level ng isang reader, personally, medyo mababa siya. Since I already know what's going to happen. Alam ko na si female lead, mamahalin niya yung attorney next door. Wala nang masyadong, yes, it is informative. Nagbigay siya ng information about the story, pero masyado siyang nagbigay ng information about the story. Sinabi niya na yung mangyayari. Though curious pa rin naman ako sa kung ano yung mga challenges, kung paano magde-develop yung character ng stories. I am also looking forward to that. Pero, ayun, sabi ko nga po, yung title, malaki yung impact na nabibigay niya sa isang reader. Lalong-lalo na that you need to convince the reader na, uy, basahin mo yung kwento ko, hindi ka magsisisi. Alam kong hindi kami magsisisi sa kwento mo. Alam kong maganda yung kwentong yan. Pero, nagmamatter kung paano mo ipipresenta sa amin yung libro. Example dito, yung kapag nagluto ka, I'm sorry, I don't do cooking. Hindi ako, dyan sa ano. But anyways, kunwari, yun ang example natin. If you're going to cook, lalong-lalo na, iluluto mo siya for someone special, pagagandahin mo yan, di ba? Pagagandahin mo yung presentation mo, yung pagkakalagay, yung kulang na lang i-ruler mo pa para pare-pareha sila ng measurement ng distance. Yung mga ganong moment, you are gusto mong maging maayos yung pagkaka-present mo. Wala pa yun hindi pa natin pinag-uusapan yung lasa ng niluto mo. Pinag-uusapan pa lang natin yung overall ng presentation. Gaano ba siya kaganda? Gaano ba ako natakam bago ko siya kainin? Sa field nila, it is very important. Dito naman sa writing, sobrang importante din kung paano mo siya ipipresent. Ang hirap pag impromptu, wala rin kasi akong kaalam-alam. So, I can't just say things. Siyempre, kasi gawa mo yan. I am rooting for you. I am believing na it would be good. Kaya I am looking forward to read all of your stories na ipinasa sa akin. Pero siguro kung attorney next door, marami tayong pwedeng maisip. Maraming pwedeng maisip yung readers. What about the attorney next door? Attention grabbing. Next is yung being memorable. Okay, they might think, ano bang meron? Bakit ba ganun yung title niya? Okay, I'm going to read this kung sa mga susunod na araw, ganun. Next is is it informative enough? Attorney Next Door is informative because sinabi mo naman kung tungkol saan yung book. Of course, it is about the Attorney Next Door. Madaling sabihin, hindi rin siya gaano kahirap banggitin. Next, sana naiintindihan yung sinabi ko and sana you'll take it into consideration. Okay lang naman din kung hindi because I know na maganda yung kwento. Next is from Thricia. I hope ay nabasa ko yun ng maayos. The Secretary. Kasama ata to sa series at pang-book to siya. The Secretary is good. Attention-grabbing, yes, may factor. Next is, memorable ba siya? Memorable. Lalong-lalo na tayo mga Pilipino. Gustong-gusto natin yung mga kwentong maganyan, yung secretary siyang matapang, tapos at the end, utos-utusan niya yung boss niya kasi na in love na sa kanya yung boss. What? Anyways, I'm looking forward na basahin kasi napaka swift. Napaka lang ng title. Ang hirap mag-isip. Ang hirap, hindi ko maisip kung saan mapupunta yung story. Basta ang alam ko lang, the one character is a secretary. And then, ayun, may curious factor tayo. May factor na parang pagkabasa mo, meron sa likod ng isip mo na, okay, I'm going to read that later. Kasi baka alam nyo na, curiosity kills, ganun. So, it is good. The secretary is good. Next, the imaginary breakup ballad of Ines and BJ from the News Writer's Corner. Imaginary breakup of. Attention-grabbing, yes. Mahaba siya. Diba sabi ko kanina, you go for a title that is short, but still, nasa author pa din yun. And if you think na magagrab mo naman yung attention ng mga readers having that long title, edi go. Dito naman sa The Imaginary Breakup Ballad of Ines and BJ. Memorable, yes. Naisip ko, pagkabasa ko siya, nung unang beses na nabasa ko siya, what's up with the imaginary breakup? Naisip ko, may imaginary sila ba? O nagkalapuan sila? O naging sila ba in the first place? O may label ba talaga sila? Marami kang may isip. That's why it's kind of memorable. Next is informative. The imaginary breakup ballad is good. It gives us or me a lot of information. Marami na akong pwedeng maisip. And andun na ako I'm going to read this later. Mga ganong moment. Having Ines and BJ on the title is good. Pero siguro pwedeng mabawasan. Kapag kasi, for example, nilagay mo na imaginary breakup ballad, parang iisipin mo pa, how does that became that? Bakit ganun yung title niya? Bakit naiisip ko siya? Bakit hindi siya mawala? Ba't di siya mawala sa isip ko? Yung mga ganong situation. And gusto nating, nakakatawa, pero gusto nating maging ganun yung reaction ng reader doon sa story natin. And lalo na ako, grabe yung pagka-curious ko sa mga bagay-bagay most of the time. Talagang binabasa ko. Gusto ko na malaman kung bakit imaginary breakup ballad. Ay na mga madam, nasabi ko na yung mga ways, tips, strategies that you can use on creating a title at hindi pa iyon ang katapusan ng post na iyon. Dahil nga sabi ko kanina, they provide 25 signs. I'll make sure na i-discuss ko yung 25 signs na yon in detail. For my next videos, I'll be going to name this as part 1 and you're going to view it part by part if you like. Magkakasunod na rin yan. And obviously, pwede nyo naman silang panoorin ng hindi sunod-sunod talaga. I'll make more videos about this. This is the first one. Thank you so much for watching. Sana may nakuha kayo ulit na na knowledge about making a title. Again, sinasabi ko sa inyo, hindi ako magaling gumawa ng title. In fact, yung mga titles ko, I'll give you an example. The Martyr Wife, na naging book na, is a cliché one. But it's not boring, and I believe na you need to try reading it. Hindi naman sa binubuhat ko yung sarili kong bangko, but yes, the title is not that catchy. Hindi siya nakakagrab ng attention. Sino ba gusto magbasa ng tungkol sa isang martir na asawa o isang martir na babae? For the memorable, hindi ganun ka-memorable yung title, but sana mabasa ninyo. Next is informative. Nagsabi naman siya kung tungkol saan yung libro, and obviously it is about the martyr wife. Though, as you read onto that story, you're gonna face the struggles of being not just being a martyr wife, but as a wife, as a whole, di ba? Kung ano ba yung pinagdadaanan nila, kung bakit ganito yung nagiging decision na nagagawa nila in life. And tayo na wala namang kaalam-alam would obviously say that, napaka-martyr mo naman, not knowing about their sacrifices in their relationship. Sabi nga ng maraming tao, madali tayong magsalita, madali tayong mag-react sa mga bagay na hindi sa atin nangyari. And para sa akin, hindi yun maganda. Because lahat naman tayo dumadaan sa problema, and hindi iyon sapat na rason para i-judge mo yung isang tao sa kung paano niya i-handle yung problema, sa kung paano niya harapin, kung hinaharap niya ba o tinatakasan niya o tumatakbo siya sa problema. You don't have to criticize someone for that reason. Ayun, madali siya sabihin, hindi naman siya ganun ka-problematic or ka-awkward sabihin. And yan, that's one of my example na hindi ganun ka-attention, nakaka-grab ng attention. Next is, I have 4 walls. Kwento siya. And Rose has thorns. Rose has thorns is my latest book. And I'm currently working on it. So, ayun nga, hindi ako nag-advise sa inyo dahil magaling ako gumawa ng title, magaling ako mag-develop ng title, ng story, or kung ano. But I am sharing this, I'm sharing my words, I'm sharing my knowledge for you guys para hindi na kayo matulad sa akin. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. At sana sa susunod na video ay magkita-kita pa tayo. And surely, I'll do my best to give you a comprehensive discussion about all these words, about all those matters na pwede nyong ma-welcome, maranasan into writing. Ayan, thank you so much for watching this. I am Thricia, an author. Bye!